I'm not gonna kill you. Wait. Wait. You know what? Yes, I am.
What's going on, guys? It's K-Dub here with another episode of Crypto Zombie. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having a great day today. Now, Bitcoin is falling a little bit today. It is the weekend. We know we shouldn't take these weekend moves too seriously. However, there is this major resistance. Actually, there's 3 of these resistances that Bitcoin can't seem to get above, and we still find ourselves in the middle of the neutral zone, although we are still being supported right here by this support. So what I want to talk about specifically in today's video is, even though there is that potential chance of maybe there is a freak out flash crash, something that catches everybody off guard, Bitcoin, if we actually look at the data right now, could actually be setting up for a massive supply shock squeeze, very similar to what we had seen last year. So this is something that is very exciting I want to talk about. And another thing, there was some minor news that actually came out from New York. Not a lot of people are talking about it. Understandable. It wasn't exactly the most significant news. However, there could be something underneath, reading between the lines, and I think it could be absolutely massive and incredible for Bitcoin moving forward. Of course, we're going to talk about the short-term price action. We could have a crazy upcoming week. If you are looking to trade, buckle up your seatbelts because it's going to get crazy, my friends. And that being said, if you're wondering why I'm not in front of the green screen, well, as you guys know, super quick, I don't want to waste your time, but I have a lot of construction that's been going on. They're being very loud right now in the backyard, which is where I have my studio. So this is my other studio. This is actually my music studio. If you guys don't know, I've been playing drums for 20 years, and I also play bass as well. I dabble in guitar a little bit. I actually just got this cool Ibanez J Custom, really cool with the gold veins, marble kind of whatever. So yeah, there you guys go. You guys know I collect pinball machines, I make music, so there you go. A little bit about me you didn't know. But that being said, you are here to talk about the charts. You don't care about my studio or my music or my pinball machines. But thank you for listening anyway. So if you're not subscribed, definitely consider it, my friends. And without further ado, let's dive into the chart. So I've been discussing how we are below this area. Now, I just want to point out that it is very possible that what we could be seeing is something of a bear trap. You know, even if we were to get all the way down to these levels at around 34,000, you know, if we actually go back and have a look at this full chart right here, you know, you could argue that these up here, or even this right here, was a bit of a bull trap, right? So potentially we could be setting up for a bear trap, and we haven't ruled out the possibility of putting in the giant M-shaped pattern like we had seen in the traditional stocks, right? Currently, right now, we are still sitting on this support. If you take this resistance down here, here's the support, right? We also have this upward sloping support, so we have to pay attention to that. We'll keep our eyes on it. I'm going to keep the TA a little bit short on this video because there's not really too much to go over. Not much has changed, but definitely stick around, guys. I have some news that I think could be potentially quite bullish. So having a look right here, we are still in the what I believe to be the neutral zone. You know, we got to get above sort of 40 right up here. You have to get above 43,000 to kind of get back into that bullish level, and obviously falling below where we're kind of sitting right now is where you would sort of go back into that danger zone. But the interesting thing that I wanted to point out is if you actually just look at the monthly, and I don't even need the full this is only the KuCoin chart. It really doesn't matter what chart. It looks the same on all of them. The one thing that I will point out is we are putting in this, you know, higher low structure on the chart here, but if you look at the RSI, we're actually putting in a lower high structure, right? So this is actually bullish divergence. Now, I'm not trying to get anyone excited. I'm not saying that this means anything. You know, this is on the monthly, so this could even take a few more months to, you know, come to fruition. But there is that possibility that we could actually see minimally, even if we are in a bear trend, at least one more push to the upside. Now, if you've been watching my channel, I have spoke about the fact that arguably, if you just strip away everything going on in the world, all of the global economic turmoil, everything, all the FUD in the news, the stocks crashing, you just have a look at Bitcoin, ultimately we are putting in higher lows and we are putting in higher highs. And like I said, if you trim a little bit of the, a little bit of fat off the top, what do you got right here? You essentially have a giant ascending triangle, which is traditionally a very bullish structure. Now, you have seen a lot of these stocks getting hit hard. Bitcoin, although still down 45, 44, whatever percent at the time I'm making this video, you got to admit has been holding up quite well considering that it's supposed to be this super risky asset, right? Now, I did speak about this level right here. Obviously, I'm not going to talk about it again. This 600 daily moving average, very significant in the past. When we fall below it, we tend to fall pretty hard. Fall below it, fall pretty hard. And vice versa, getting back above it, bull run, right? Getting back above it. Now right here, I think that this COVID thing that happened, I actually think that this is a bit of an outlier because really, if COVID didn't happen, most likely probably what would have happened was this would have just continued somewhere like this, maybe touched the line. I don't think we would have ever got all the way down here, and that would have shown that we were setting up for this. Now this right here, we are currently closing below it at the time that I'm making this video, so just be very careful about that, obviously moving forward. But the thing you have to really look at is, going back, this is a logarithmic chart, right? If we just put this chart in standard linear format, this crazy run up that we had back here, up to 14,000 all the way back down to 3, look at this on the chart now. And I do believe that eventually, even if we do come down here, let me actually just turn everything off. I don't want to draw on it. But essentially, this is most likely going to look like this, guys. So, we are getting, again, towards the bottom of this level, and these could be those levels for accumulation. But ultimately, guys, as I've been pointing out, this right here is the level I'm looking for. We're getting closer to it. Now, the only thing is that because we're having a slow bleed coming down to this level, I was talking about these high volume moves where you come down to this support. We may not get that. And, if that's the case, I'm going to be a little bit more hesitant about longing this level just because there could be an even farther fake out down to the downside, only because we've built this structure falling down for so long. It wasn't that flash crash, right? So, the longer you stay in this sort of bearish sort of consolidation, then, that could be the scenario. Now, there is a little bit of positivity to it. You could also, if we make this a little bit bigger, and I'm just trying to show you a little bit of bullish narrative right here, if we do, draw this line right here, essentially what you can see, let me extend this a little bit longer, we could be just potentially forming a falling wedge, right? And falling wedge patterns usually break to the upside. But keep in mind, if we continue to bounce around this level, we could end up coming all the way back down to that $34,000 level. Still wouldn't be a full-on bear because there is that potential of breakout to the upside, but I just wanted to point that out. Now, this is something very interesting. Willy Woo, Wooconomics. I highly recommend that you guys check this guy out. He was talking about exchange net flows, and you could see anytime we get down to the very bottom of this box right here, this green zone, this is a massive signal for a potential supply shock squeeze where you then see the price go parabolic. Now, currently, we are not at the bottom of the level just yet, okay? This is why I said this could happen in the next few months, maybe the next month. There's a potential we come down here, we retest the bottom of this green zone, and we could be setting up for a massive move. In fact, specifically, he says price is sideways because of Wall Street selling futures contract in a macro risk-off trade. Meanwhile, institutional money is scooping up spot Bitcoin at peak rates and moving to cold storage. It's times like these I remember the Q4 2020 supply shock squeeze. And, Bitcoin price holding up well while equities tank and USD index moons is a testament by the unprecedented spot buying happening right now. In other words, investors already see Bitcoin as a safe haven. It will take time for price to reflect. Wait for the futures sells to run out of ammo. And if you watch my video from yesterday, which the views are getting a little bit lower, I can see a lot of people leaving, a lot of people losing interest in the space. Well, if you're one of those people, I hate to tell you this, but, these are the times you should be paying the most attention. But ultimately, you were seeing almost 3 times the amount of buys versus, the sells over on the order book, right? The asks versus the bids. So this is showing that there are a lot of big name players looking to scoop up at those levels. And in yesterday's video, I also showed you that even though the volume has actually come down a little bit on some of these investment products, you're noticing that the volume that is there is coming from very massive buys, very massive big players, millions of dollars. So while retail has, run away, they're scared, they bought the all-time high, they're just they can't deal with it. They're walking away from the space. Well, the smart money is accumulating, my friends. So on to the massively, awesomely big news of the day, guys. The Bitcoin network has finally hit a new all-time high for difficulty. I am totally kidding. That is not the big news of the day. But hey, in all sincerity, if these miners were actually freaking out, why are we still seeing hash rate growing? Why are we seeing the network difficulty at the highest it's ever been? This means not only is it the most secure, but it is the most competitive. More miners are turning on their machines. More miners are setting up camp, getting involved with Bitcoin. You wouldn't see that if it was a flash in the pan and it was all doom and gloom, right? So that is just that. But no, guys, this is the news that I wanted to bring up. And as I read this to you, you're probably going to say, this isn't big news, K-Dub. This is not important. But hear me out here. I have something to add to this at the end. So on Wednesday, this is the mayor of New York, Eric Adams. He raised concern from financial watchdogs, obviously, in New York. We know how the oligarchs operate. But he did suggest that New York scrap its 7-year long-standing bit license rule. Now, if you're from New York like I am, you know that it is kind of sad, right? It's been kind of sad being a proponent of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies and seeing this harsh stance on crypto. And they say it's to protect investors. I get it. But at this point, guys, especially when we're talking about Bitcoin, do we really need to offer protection? I mean, Bitcoin literally was at $2,000 when I first started buying Bitcoin. I wish I paid attention sooner. And it's still sitting at $38,000. And every time, even if you had bought at the all-time high, $20,000, you're still up almost double, right? And we know that Bitcoin goes in these cycles. So this bit license is essentially, if you're involved in selling virtual currencies, you have to apply for this. So what do you have to do? You have to pay a $5,000 fee in addition to submitting a variety of documentation. And you also have to provide updates very periodically. It's a pain in the ass. And it does, in fact, stifle innovation. So Adams argues that the long-standing rule stifles both economic growth and innovation, while he has continued to advocate for regulators and lawmakers to think outside the box when it comes to cryptocurrency. He also believes that there are times such as this where it is necessary to destroy the box. So New York State is the only state to require a license for crypto companies, which is a high barrier and just makes us less competitive. He says we have to continue to be competitive. And also, as you guys know, he did take his first 3 paychecks in Bitcoin. So why is this big news? Why am I bringing it up when absolutely nothing happened and it's just something that the mayor said, right? Well, this is how things start. It gets in the people's minds. Now, the fact that New York, or at least Mayor Eric Adams, is saying we should get rid of this bit license, right? We need to promote the innovation. We need to be Bitcoin friendly. We need to bring people here. We want people to come to New York. They're not coming to New York. They're leaving New York. They're going to places like Miami, or worst case, they're leaving the US altogether and they're going to Dubai. Why would doing this in New York be bullish for Bitcoin? The reason is that New York, whether or not you want to admit it, is looked at as the financial capital of the United States. Wall Street, everyone is familiar with Wall Street, right? If you have New York State saying, you know what, this doesn't make sense, we're putting too much pressure on these guys, we need to actually promote and embrace cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, even you just want to start with Bitcoin, you guys don't have to go down the list, I get it. If you just embrace Bitcoin, get rid of the bit license just for exchanges that are even just doing Bitcoin or Ethereum or something like that, that will send a message to the rest of the United States. The same way that all it took was a guy like Paul Tudor Jones dipping his foot in the Bitcoin pond, whatever you want to call it, that signaled to all these other big investors to start getting on board. And this is when you saw guys like, Elon Musk and a lot of these other guys, Druckenmiller, everyone getting on board, right? And that's when these people started to actually say, hey, we can put this on our balance sheet, right? This could be part of our long-term portfolio allocation. If New York State drops the bit license, the center of the financial district, right? And they are saying that, no, forget this. We're going to go forward with the innovation, even though, okay, 49 out of the 50 states don't have a bit license. Fair enough. I get it. Who cares? Leave New York. I think it's going to signal something to the rest of the United States. And it could even be the final nail in the coffin, a good coffin, right, to the old financial system. And it could lead to us finally embracing it. And it could even be the precursor to the Bitcoin ETF. So I might be taking this way out of context. Maybe I care way too much because I'm from New York. Most of my viewers are probably from other states. You guys probably don't care about this. But when you really look at the significant impact, especially how a lot of these big players look at New York, they see what they're doing, financial capital, whatever you want to call it, I think that this could be one of the greatest plays from New York. And yeah, I really just think this is big news. I mean, let me know if you guys think I blew this out of proportion, but it's only a statement. Doesn't mean anything. They didn't do anything yet. But to me, this could be the first step towards really, truly seeing Bitcoin embraced by the US personally. So let's talk about something really quick. I did want to mention, you guys might know who Roger Ver is. They call him Bitcoin Jesus. He used to be a big advocate for Bitcoin. He recently came out with this statement. He's been on a little bit of a hiatus, and he says that he thinks that Dogecoin is significantly better than Bitcoin itself. He says it's cheaper, more reliable. If I had to pick 3 contenders for the world's dominant cryptocurrency, they would be Dogecoin, Litecoin, and Bitcoin Cash. It's also worth noting that he backed Bitcoin Cash, and they did have the fork back in August of 2017. At the time, the network split into 2. If you guys weren't around, there was this big debate about the Bitcoin block size, so they made Bitcoin Cash. Now, let's have a look at how Bitcoin Cash is doing right now. Well, from its ridiculous wick to the top, it is currently sitting down about 93%. So probably shouldn't listen to Roger Ver. This guy, man, if you just want me to be realistic, he made my life personally without even knowing a living hell for a very, very long time. In fact, if you look at this peak right here, this peak occurred right around December 17th, which was the all-time high for Bitcoin. And I do think that we would have seen a much higher Bitcoin, and they would have had a lot more confidence in the crypto space, in the community, had we not had this fighting. It was a terrible time to be alive. You had basically people pro-Bitcoin fighting over which Bitcoin is the best Bitcoin. We had massive amounts of Bitcoin spin-offs, Bitcoin Lightning, Bitcoin God, Bitcoin Cash, ABC, Bitcoin SV. I mean, God, everything. It was crazy. And so, and also just to point out Dogecoin, I mean, I'm not against Dogecoin. I mean, I support everyone on this channel, but Dogecoin is down 81%, Bitcoin Cash down 90%, Bitcoin only down 45%. I think at the end of the day, people chose the real Bitcoin. So the reason that I'm actually talking about altcoins super quick is because it has been a little bit rough in the markets lately. And I read through my comments, and I've seen a few comments lately of people complaining like, oh, like I bought this altcoin. You talked about an altcoin, K-Dub, and I decided to just buy it, and now it's down 20% or something like that. Look, guys, most of the altcoins that I have held are actually down right now. I'm not selling them. I'm holding them. But this is what I'm talking about right here. Look at Dogecoin. We see all the hype that went up. People were freaking out. They were getting in. They had to get in. Now, look, maybe you sold at the all-time high. But if you held, you are currently down 80%, right? Now, if you are a believer in Dogecoin and you truly believe, like Roger Ver does, that Dogecoin is the future and that it's going to be the most embraced cryptocurrency and it's going to have a purpose, then you should probably hold it. Not financial advice, because if you believe in it, having an 80% pullback is no big deal. Buying an altcoin and having it go down 20%, really in sideways, downwards, choppy markets, if that freaks you out, number one, you probably allocated too much capital. Number two, you shouldn't just do whatever a guy on YouTube says. I mean, honestly, guys, I make mistakes as well, but I have conviction in the things that I hold and the things that I talk about. I believe in Bitcoin. Bitcoin represents more than 90% of my overall portfolio. If I buy an altcoin with 1% of my capital and I lose it all, I don't care because I'm not over leveraged. But you know what? If I am buying something and it's something I believe in, I do hold it, right? I just wanted to bring that up because, a lot of people, they like to put the blame and point the finger. But realistically, why are you buying something just because somebody talked about it? If you do your research, you like it, you think it has potential, hold on to that coin. And, for example, Matic, how long did we have to hold, Matic? Just to go to Matic real quick. I mean, just pointing this out, we had talked about Matic way down here. And, if I get this off of the log and I come over here, I mean, look at this madness that Matic went through in the beginning, right? Went all the way up here, crashed down, right? We had to wait from July all the way to December, pump, only to fall even lower. And I had talked about Matic right back here. I was probably the first channel to talk about Matic. And yeah, a lot of people sold. They said it was dead. Oh, K-Dub, you talked about Matic and I bought here and now it's down 85%. Yeah, but you know what happened to people who held like me? Look at this, guys. Look what happened. Now how's Matic doing from when it was down all the way here? Matic, actually, let's just go to where it is right now. It's still up 68,170%, even having a drawdown from $2.93 all the way down to $1. So if you don't have the conviction to hold and you don't believe in it, then you shouldn't be trading altcoins. You shouldn't be putting your capital into it. And you should probably just dollar cost Bitcoin and call it a day. I just wanted to say that because it really pisses me off. You know, I put a lot of time and effort into these videos and the research that I do into these projects, and I try to get you guys in super early. Sometimes those rewards don't happen immediately. Sometimes they don't happen overnight. Sometimes you have to wait from May of 2019 all the way to May of 21. You have to wait 2 years. But if you waited 2 years, this literally made people, including myself, life-changing gains because I had conviction in the project and I helped. It's all about time frame. If you're trying to make a quick buck, you're trying to just flip coins super quick, have fun with that, guys. That's not what we do on this channel, okay? Just had to point that out. And yeah, one of the coins that I actually had mentioned was Breeder DAO. It actually did get listed. Now, I'm not telling you to run out and buy it right now. That's why I told you guys about it when it was at the at the sale, but it is available now. Currently, it is trading at MEXC Global. If you want to, check it out. Don't buy it just because I talked about it. In fact, don't buy it. Just don't even buy it. Just don't even buy it at this point. That's the advice that I'm giving you guys. I told you about it before it even came out to the exchanges, and I just want to let you know, over at MEXC, they have a lot of options for altcoins. They have over 2,000, actually. It has become one of my favorite for spot trading currently, and there is 5 days left for this. If you guys are interested, I highly recommend you check that out below. $1,000 giveaway to a few people, $25, just deposit $100 and do some trading. 5 days left for that, and if you use my link below, you get 10% fees off for life. For life, guys. 10% forever using the link below. Check that out, guys. So, I want to talk more about this. So, even if you don't want to do altcoin trading, even if you don't want to do spot trading, even if you don't want to do leverage trading, if you don't want to do any trading at all, but dollar cost averaging, let's say, is not enough for you, here are some things that you could do. Even if we go into a bear market, even if we go into a year-long, 2-year-long, which I don't think is going to happen, bear market, these are things you can do. Lending. You can lend your crypto out, right? Platforms like Vesta Equity and the newly launched USDC Homes offers crypto holders the opportunity to collateralize their assets and obtain mortgages or lend them out to aspiring home buyers in exchange for long-term yields, right? You have things like Celsius where you can earn APY. Stablecoin farming, guys. In a bull and bear market, liquidity is required either way, right? For DeFi protocols to function properly. So essentially, you know, you can farm stablecoins. Platforms like Curve Finance, Beefy Finance, Trader Joe, some of them offer up to 20%. That's really crazy. And you can do it with stablecoins. Guys, you don't have to worry. The dollar's the dollar, right? You can do that. You can also do something referred to as a no-loss token offering, right? This is something that I've personally not participated in, but I have thought about, you know, getting into some of these no-loss token offerings. So essentially, for example, if you look at like parachain auctions over on Polkadot and Kusama, essentially what you do is you can lock up your Polkadot or your, you know, KSM tokens for a specific period of time to form collateral that'll back the projects, and then you'll receive the newly minted tokens for supporting it and locking it up, and when your period's over, you get your coins back anyway. So you get your coins back and you get more coins on top of it, right? These are things that I do. If you want me to talk more about this, I will actually in the background. I'd be happy to discuss, you know, certain things. One of the projects that, you know, this is another one of those over at Symbiosis. Now, Symbiosis price is obviously down from its all-time high, but I personally think that this project hasn't even gotten started. It's just doing the same thing that Matic did, where, you know, it had this price discovery and it crashed back down and people thought it was dead, then it pumped up again. It's doing the same thing, but even if you don't want to necessarily buy the Symbiosis token, you don't have to. Look at what you could do. Cross-chain farming down here, guys. You could do, and these are stable coins. Binance US dollar, you know, to, you know, SUSD. You have USDC, avalanche to SUSDC back and forth over here. And look at these, 23%, 15%, 21%. 24% if you do between Polygon and Avalanche, okay? And this is literally using a stable coin. You have $1, it's pegged to $1. There's virtually, I mean, there's always a risk involved, but there's virtually no risk. You could just provide liquidity. You could be a liquidity provider. I actually do that as well. I have a few different LP tokens that I have, and I provide liquidity. And I get a little bit of a fee every day. I don't do anything for it. All I do is just lock up some coins, right? You can even do it with stable coins. So I don't want to hear that there's no opportunities to make money, and I don't want to hear people complaining. I'm happy to make more videos talking about how you can do this, but the point I'm trying to make is the people that are walking away right now, the people that are literally, you know, saying, screw this crypto stuff, they're the ones missing out on these opportunities, because you could actually be dollar cost averaging, and you can be farming or lending or doing these no loss, you know, situations where you can just, you know, put your coins in for a period of time, support a project, for example, a parachain auction, and then get the tokens back, right? There always are opportunities to make money in these markets. You don't have to be using leverage. You don't have to be trading altcoins. You know what I'm trying to say, guys? So if you want me to make more videos about stuff like that, I will. I did just want to kind of end on this. There's a lot of rants in this video. Obviously, as you could tell, I'm not in the studio, so I kind of just... I didn't really have a lot to talk about today. It was really loud. I couldn't focus. But this was really funny. So, CoinMarketCap. I saw this when it came out, and then they deleted it. But they said, who is the imposter here? So they had a bunch of coins. And then they said the answer is XRP for being controlled and governed by authorities, hence defeating the purpose of cryptocurrency. All the other coins in this are decentralized and are basically the people's crypto. Now, they got a lot of backlash for this, and I guess it was like somebody new that was posting this or something like that. You know, I have no problem with XRP, just so you guys know. I don't hold any XRP. I don't really have any interest in XRP. That's my personal opinion. Do what you want. You know, but that being said, that was really pretty funny. And, you know, having a look at XRP, I mean, I don't even want to do analysis on this because I know there's a lot of XRP people out there that really won't like this. But I mean, if you really just draw a very simple, very, very simple right here, like just, you know, from this resistance as support, I mean, hopefully for my XRP fans out there, it does flip it. But I mean, this essentially is a, this is a falling triangle. This is a descending triangle. So, yeah, I don't know. Not exactly the most bullish of patterns. And also not to mention, and once again, not trying to hurt anyone's feelings, but XRP is really the only coin that didn't see a new all-time high during the rally. Virtually all of the top coins, like not all of them, but a lot in the top saw new all-time highs. XRP didn't. Probably has a lot to do with what's going on with the SEC. Haven't paid much attention to it, but I assume if good news comes out, it'll probably pump. But these are, you know, kind of scary levels to be sitting at. You know, what is it even down right now compared to Bitcoin? XRP is down, you know, 68%, and Bitcoin's only down 45. So, you know, that is just something to keep in mind. Not hating on my XRP fans. Look, do you guys rock. Keep going with the XRP stuff. It's just not really for me, you know, not really for me, guys. I'm more of a Bitcoin guy. But, you know, that being said, this was an interesting story. I just want to end on just for fun. Did you guys see that Alex Jones received an anonymous $1 million Bitcoin donation? He received 26 Bitcoins into one of the wallets that he had promoted for his InfoWars website. Up until that point, he only had about $37,000 in it. So, yeah, can I get a donation, guys? Anybody want to just donate random $1 million to K-Dub at Crypto Zombie? No? All good. Well, Alex Jones, you've been a crusader for truth and all that stuff that you talk about. So, yeah. So he got a donation. Pretty cool, guys. But, you know, ultimately getting back here, I just want to end super quick on the CME futures chart right here. It is still putting in an uptrend, you know, and ultimately the CME level is around 38,285. I don't think we're going to see a big gap this weekend, but I do think we will close whatever we see. So come Monday, by Monday, before Monday, during Monday, I think there's a chance that Bitcoin could at least get down to about $38,285. Where are we right now? 38. Well, we're only like $200 away from it. So just keep that in mind. I don't see us really moving much, you know, for the next couple days, but I do expect some volatility, as I pointed out. So that being said, guys, that is it for the day. Thank you so much for coming back to the channel. Thank you for, you know, sitting through this long rant. Sometimes you got to rant in these markets. You know, people get crazy. And the thing is like, there's so many opportunities out there. Like you could just stable coin farm, guys, with dollar tokens. No risk, virtually no risk, unless like the protocol gets hacked or something happens on the back end, you know? So if you guys want me to do more videos like that, I will in the future. But that is it for me. Thank you so much for coming back to the channel. You guys rock. You are the reason that I make these videos, even from my studio. My name's K-Dub. This is Crypto Zombie. Until next time, stay crypto. And of course, peace out.